Okay, decided to do this video. I've put it up for guests to come up if they wish to, but very rarely do people even view my videos, and very rarely do I even get guests to come up. So I decided to do this video anyway. It was after seeing yet again Sadiq Khan moaning about being attacked for being a Pakistani Muslim in Great Britain, and how beautiful Islam is, and how diverse Islam is, and how multicultural Islam is, and how Islam and Muslims can live side by side. Unfortunately, I know this to be the biggest lie he's ever told, and he's told a lot. And of course, this also comes from the Quran, because in the Quran, Surah 3, Ayah 28, this gives the Muslims the right to lie, especially when it comes to their religion. They're allowed to lie about their religion and what it really says in order to promote it. And that's exactly what Sadiq Khan is doing here when he discusses this subject, and he's clearly lying, using 328 of the Quran. So let me go through. Now, these are not conclusive, fully inclusive verses of from the Quran and the hadiths that state exactly what Muslims are allowed to do. Okay, when it comes to non-believers, Jews, Christians, Hindus, Buddhists, polytheists, pagans, everything is included in these verses. But as I say, it's not conclusive. This is just a small part of what the verses from the Quran and definitely the hadith say. So we will begin first of all with the verses that state about hating, literally hating Jews, Christians, pagans, and anybody who's not a Muslim. Some of them just include Jews and Christians, and then others of them include all people who are not a Muslim. But literally, as I say, they are saying to Muslims, do not be friends with these people. They are your enemy, and literally hate them with a passion, because they are the worst of creatures. Now, in Islam, the worst creature is the pig. Allah apparently created a pig. He doesn't like it. Allah also apparently created all of us. He doesn't like the majority of us. He hates us to such an extent, he even tells the Muslims to hate us. So we begin with Surah 98:6. Surah 98:6 is one of the verses that literally says, we are the worst of creatures. Pick a creature: rat, pig, worm, cockroach. We are worse than those, according to the Quran, to the Muslims. That's Surah 98, Ayah 6. Surah 4, Ayah 89, and Surah 4, Ayah 101. Both of these say, do not be friends with them. They are your enemies. Surah 5, Ayah 51. Do not be mates with them. They are disgusting, filthy, nudges, animals. Completely horrible. Do not be friends with them. Sahih Muslim 22, kill all of them. Sahih Bukhari 6922, kill all the apostates that leave Islam. And Sahih Muslim 2922, kill and totally annihilate all the Jews. Now, those are just, as I say, a very few of the verses, especially from the hadiths. There are loads and loads of hadiths that mention about killing them all, even the little tiny babies, if they're from them and they're non-Muslims. But most of those verses, as I say, are the ones that tell Muslims to hate. Hate! Let's make it quite clear. Hate is the word used. They are horrible, disgusting, despicable people. They are worst of the creatures. Hate them all. So, Sadiq Khan, my question to you is quite clear, just on those few verses. How can Muslims be multicultural and diverse when the book they read literally tells them to hate everybody who's not a Muslim? Big problem there, isn't it, Sadiq Khan? Unless you want to admit you used 328 and you are lying through your teeth. So, Now, let's move on to the verses that actually tell the Muslims to kill us. Kill, annihilate, slaughter, kill us. And again, some of these verses mention Jews and Christians, and some of them mention Jews, Christians, pagans, polytheists, Hindus, Buddhists, anyone who's not a Muslim. So we begin with Al-Baqarah, Surah 2, Ayah 190, Surah 2, Ayah 191, Surah 2, Ayah 216. That's one of the verses that literally says, kill them all, kill them all. I will mention all the verses that say, kill them all, so you can quite conclusively see how many there are. And don't forget, this is not all of them. Before I move on to the rest of the verses that tell the Muslims to kill everyone who's not a Muslim and everyone who doesn't believe in Allah, let me move straight away first to Surah 49, Ayah 9. Surah 49, Ayah 9 is the verse that tells Muslims to kill Muslims. That's why there's Shia and Sunni constantly killing each other, like in Yemen. It literally says, kill them. Muslim against Muslim. Again, Sadiq Khan, how can you be multicultural and diverse when your book literally says to you to kill each other? So we now move on to the other verses, as I say, that literally tell you to kill all Jews, Christians, pagans, polytheists, and anyone who's not a Muslim. Surah 5, Ayah 33. This is another one that literally tells them to kill everyone else. Surah 8, Ayah 39. Another surah that says literally kill everyone else. Surah 8, Ayah 61, Surah 9, Ayah 5, Surah 9, Ayah 14, Surah 9, Ayah 28 and 29, Surah 9, 111, and Surah 9, 123. All of those surahs in 9, 14, 28, 29, 111, and 123, again, all say literally kill them. Kill all of them completely dead. Surah 33, Ayah 61, another one that says kill them all dead. 41:27. Surah 47, Ayah 4, again, kill them all dead. This is another Surah 47, just like 5 and 9, where virtually a quarter of the chapter says kill them all. You have 47:4, 47:10, Surah 47:13, Surah 47:20, 21 and 22, and Surah 47, Ayah 31. So we have at least 3 chapters within the Quran where at least a quarter of that chapter is literally telling Muslims to kill everybody who doesn't believe in Allah or follow them. Surah 66, Ayah 9, and Surah 48:16, Surah 49, Ayah 14. It's just a few of the verses from the Quran that literally tell them to hate everyone who's not a Muslim. They are the worst of creatures. Do not be their friends. They are your enemy. And also, as I've said, a lot of surahs that actually literally tell Muslims to kill anybody who is not a Muslim and kill anyone who doesn't believe in Allah. Now, again, Sadiq Khan, how can you claim that Muslims are multicultural, they are diverse, and they can live side by side with anybody, when your book says completely the opposite, including Muslims themselves? Muslims have to kill other Muslims if they disagree with one another. Surah 49, Ayah 9. But the book is quite clear in what Muslims must do to people who are not Muslims, to people who don't believe in Allah or Islam. And of course, it doesn't just say kill them. It doesn't just say slaughter and annihilate them. It doesn't just say, don't be friends with them. They're your enemy and they're disgusting and the worst of creatures. It also says to rape them. Over and over, rape them. 424 of the Quran. So, Sadiq Khan, in what way, shape, form does your Islam and the Quran that came from your God, which clearly states over and over, rape them, kill them, slaughter them, maim them, how is that multicultural, Mr. Sadiq Khan? How is that diverse, Mr. Sadiq Khan? I doubt very much if this gentleman would even answer this question if he actually comes across this video. Very much doubt it at all. Um, but again, I mean, even if other Muslims would like to try, please do so. So let's just give those verses again. These are the verses that literally tell them to hate us, and we are despicable, and we are disgusting, and not to be our friends, we are their enemy. Surah 98, ayah 6, Surah 4, ayah 89, Surah 4, ayah 101, Surah 5, ayah 51. Then we have Sahih Bukhari 6922, kill all the people who leave Islam. Sahih Muslim 22, kill. And Sahih Muslim 2922, kill all the Jews. So those are just a few of the hadiths that state kill, and a few of the verses, as I say, not conclusive. There are many more, many more. And then verses that literally say kill them, annihilate them, slaughter them all, who are either Jews or Christians or pagans or non-Muslim. Surah 2 ayah 190, Surah 2 ayah 191, Surah 2 ayah 216, Surah 5 ayah 33, Surah 8 ayah 39, Surah 8 ayah 61, Surah 9 ayah 5, Surah 9 ayah 14, Surah 9 ayah 28 and 29, Surah 9 111, Surah 9 123, Surah 33 61, Surah 41 27, Surah 47 4, Surah 47 10, Surah 47 13, Surah 47 20, 21 22, Surah 47 31, Surah 66 9, Surah 48 16, and Surah 49 9. All say kill them all. Lovely multicultural and diverse religion you follow, isn't it, Sadiq Khan? Beautiful. And now I wonder why people don't like you who know the truth about your God and your religion that you follow, that literally commands you to kill me because I don't follow your God. Yes. I wonder what the real reason is why we don't like you, Sadiq, when we know the truth about you. I wonder. So, this is why, unfortunately, TikTok banned me yet again, because I was trying to talk about this subject. I believe it was probably discussing Surah 98:6, or it might have been previous to that, where I was talking about verses in the Quran which mention killing and kill. And I inadvertently used that word once, which I think was enough for TikTok to ban it. Although it's very difficult to say, because with TikTok they have many words that are banned, but they don't tell anyone what those words are, which is, yes, Lemonade, I got banned again. I got banned on the first channel on Friday, so I switched to the second channel, which aren't linked. The channels aren't linked, so they couldn't tell. So I switched to the second channel after Friday, because getting banned from the first one, and they banned the other one yesterday. I'd literally used it twice. I literally used it once the day before on the same topic of shirk, and I literally started using it yesterday again. And after about an hour, they banned it. And I was talking about love. Well, again, Lemonade, there's no way you can tell what it was for. You can't say, because you only have to mention one of the banned words and they will, ban it. As I say, I think that I mentioned, as I say, I'm pretty certain, remember saying the word kill at least once. I did mention the word kill at least once, and then quickly changed it to unalive, but I'd already said it. And I think that's the reason why they banned it. Although you can't be certain, as I say, because the list of banned words that TikTok have as a full list of words that they can ban you for, they don't tell you what they are. No one knows apparently what they are. There are apparently these these groups and these sort of agencies where you can employ them, and they apparently know some of the words, but no one knows all of the words, because, as I say, TikTok don't tell you. And that's rather disgusting of TikTok to do, really. I mean, you can't really set out rules, you know, and say to people, you can't really say this or you can't really say that, and then tell people the things that you're not supposed to be saying. It's a bit, you know, nonsensical. It's a bit like having children and saying to children, you know, every once in a while you smack your child, and you just say to the child, you know, well, you did something wrong. And then when the child says to you, well, what did I do wrong? You say, well, I'm not going to tell you what you did wrong, but make sure you don't do it again. You know, it's a bit stupid, really. But there you go. As I say, I mean, I truly believe it's because TikTok, the way TikTok is set up, is that when they ban somebody, when they ban the live, they keep all the money from that live. And obviously, there are certain lives, especially these women that, you know, get their little bitties out, you know, they get loads and loads of viewers, and obviously they also generate a large amount of income, just on one live. And I think what happens is, you know, TikTok wait until, you know, the live has generated 200, 300, 400 odd pound, then they ban it. And that is say that then means all of that money goes back to TikTok. None of it goes back to the, you know, the person who's done the live once it's been banned. And I think that's why TikTok do it, because it's a good money generator, obviously. I mean, imagine if they just ban 10 lives that have generated £100, that's £1,000. Not to mention, of course, the 70% they already keep anyway, because they keep 70% of everything that's donated anyway. So, you know, they're onto a good winner just by banning people for breaking their so-called community guidelines. And as I say, you don't really know what that involves because they don't strictly tell you. I mean, obviously, you know that, you know, bullying and harassing individuals or groups is not allowed, and so on and so. But as I say, there are certain words that you can mention, and that will get you banned, and you don't know what those words are. As I say, you can only put in a certain amount of guesswork as to what those words are. And I think as well, they sort of, you know, that there's a sort of leeway that they give with those words as well to certain people, whereas other people, there's no leeway. Mention just one of those words once and they will ban you. And then there's other people, obviously, who, you know, is more preferred to TikTok, and they can say these words over and over and they won't get banned. But yeah, I mean, that was it. I mean, I'd been literally just started the stream anyway, and I was just going into the Bible and how the Bible mentions about love, you know, and then I was just mentioning about the Quran. And as I say, most of these verses that I've just mentioned today, and how majority of them say kill people, and how a lot of them just say we're the worst of creatures, we're horrible, you know, we're disgusting. And I think that's why they did it. But when the ban finishes, obviously it's not going to stop me, because it never will do. I will come back again, and I will be doing the same topic, love from the Bible, love from the Quran. But instead of going through all the verses in the Quran, which, as I say, are the things that will get it banned again, I will literally, I would just be asking the Muslims to bring me a verse from their Quran or the hadiths or the Sunnah, because I know it isn't in there, where Allah says the same thing as the God of the Bible in John 3:16. Okay, and it's quite clear, you know, what God of the Bible says in John 3:16. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever shall believe in him will have eternal life. Clearly, there we have the Lord of the world stating how he loves everybody, and of course he does love everybody because he created everybody. I mean, that's quite clear again throughout the Bible. The message, you know, is that you hate not them, you don't hate the men or the people, but you hate their doctrine or their deeds or their actions. Not the man, you know, the conduct. The man is made by God. Because the man is made by God, that's why you can't hate the man. The deed and the actions that they do are from Satan, if they're the bad deeds and the bad actions like Muhammad. And that's why you hate the deeds and the action, not the man, because the man is from God, the deeds and the actions are from Shaitan. And as I say, that's wrapped up entirely in that verse, John 3:16, quite complicitly, that, you know, God loves the world because he created it, and he created everything within the world. And so he can't hate any of it because he's the creator of it. It'd be rather stupid, you know, for a creator who created everything and then called it all good to then go ahead and hate it. You know, it's not from a divine being. You could get that from a human creator. Obviously, a human creator could create something and then dislike that thing that he's created. He couldn't, you know, possibly not like it for some reason. But obviously, with a divine creator, that could never happen. If a divine creator's created something, it's got to be good. It's got to be perfect, and he's got to love it. Hence, he's not a divine creator. And as I say, when I do come back to discuss this topic, that's exactly just what I'm going to stick on. The point of view from the Bible, how God loves all of his creation, and he loves the whole world, and he loves everything within that world because he created it. And so it's got to be all good. And that's what's said in Genesis. When you read Genesis, of course, at the start of Genesis chapter 1, the creation, every time he created something, he always said, it is good. It is good. And so from a Bible point of view, as I say, we can clearly see God loves the world, he loves his creation, and he loves everything that he created, and it's all good. From an Islamic point of view, that's not the case with Allah at all. And as I say, all I will be doing is, instead of going into detail about Islam and the Quran and the hadiths and what they say, I will literally just be asking the Muslims to bring me proof from either the Quran or the hadiths or the Sunnah or even Sharia, where it states Allah loves the world and everything within the world like God of the Bible does in John 3:16. And they won't be able to do it. It's pure and simple as that. They won't be able to do it because there is not one verse that states that. First of all, there's not even one verse that states Allah even loves the Muslims. Literally, there are verses where he says that, but there's a but on it all the time, a but, an except all the time on all those verses. And that but and except is that they must love and follow and obey Allah and his messenger. And that's the only way that they can get the love from Allah. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I will plan to do when I get back onto Tiki-Toki, which will be next week now, because the first ban will end on the first channel, the V-Vault, on Friday. And so I will start streaming on Friday on the V-Vault. And if Tiki-Toki managed to find some reason to ban that within a couple of days, then of course the other one will come back on Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, which is when that was banned yesterday. So I will then just swap back to the other channel on Saturday if they ban the V-Vault again sometime on Friday, which they could possibly well do with me. I have a very, very poor record with Tiki-Toki, even though I try my hardest not to, get them to ban me. For some strange reason, they always find a reason to ban me. And literally, I'm talking of hundreds of accounts, literally hundreds of accounts. I mean, I literally cannot use my own phone anymore to get an account. because that's what I was doing to start with. They banned my first 2 or 3 accounts that I had with this particular device, and then I got some more accounts. They banned those, and then eventually they banned my number. So now, even if I try to open up a new account with the same number, there's no, you're not allowed. Go away. I even sort of got a new email in the hope that I could do it through the email and do it, but no, you still need the number as well. But I've got a second SIM as well, so I mean, I can always go out and get a second SIM and do it that way. So, which I might have to do eventually. But for now, as I say, I'm doing it through the help of another individual who's helping me to get the account. So, and that's a good way as well. So. But yes, hopefully I will be back live again this weekend on TikTok. And as I say, it will be exactly the same topic, the love, of the father of the Bible, which is completely contrasting with Allah's love. I mean, basically, Allah's love doesn't exist. You know, uh, according to Allah, love means 4 wives, right hand possessions, jiggy jiggy little children, jiggy jiggy watermelons, and jiggy jiggy animals. According to Allah, that's Allah's love. And well, obviously, you don't need to be, again, either well versed in religion or even well versed in life, or have any sort of intelligence at all to understand, love is so much more, so much deeper than just sex between a man and a woman, which, in its real context, should only be sex between a husband and a wife. You shouldn't really even have sex outside of a husband and wife scenario, because again, you're just degrading love and also degrading sex. Um, so, but that's something, as I say, again, they don't understand. And again, it's something that's clearly put out within the Bible. The fact that Eve was made from man, to signify that the man is the head, but the woman is equal with the man because she was made from him. And then the Lord telling them, now go forth and multiply, means that was the very first wedding performed by God between Adam and Eve. And he tells them to go forth and multiply, so that they can then raise children who will then raise their children, and it's an ongoing thing that these children are raised, and all are raised to be, following God and be with God. And that hierarchy, exists throughout the family. So you have the husband, you have the wife, you then have the children in order of age and sex. And as I say, it just follows all the way through. But it's not a hierarchy in the sense that, how can I say it? It's not a hierarchy in the sense of, very difficult to sort of put it into words, really. It's not a hierarchy in the sense that one is dominant over the other, or the others have to be obedient to the other. It is more equality, hierarchy than anything else. There's no sort of mastery one over the other, or whatever, or you must do what I tell you, or anything like that. Where there is in Islam, of course, the wife has to be subservient to the husband, to such a degree, as I say, that she has to wear a black bin bag every time she leaves the house, to such a degree that every time she leaves the house, she has to ask permission to leave the house. And then, of course, she needs to fully explain the reasons why she's leaving the house and where she's going, even to the point where when she goes shopping, she has to explain everything that she's going to buy, everything that it's going to cost, and take the exact money with her. if she's going to buy like £10 worth of groceries, she leaves with £10 and she returns with £10 worth of groceries. It's that, sort of controlled in Islam. But yeah, I mean, as I say, when it comes to the love aspect of it doesn't exist in Islam, obviously. Yeah, I mean, obviously that happens as well, Lemonade, but primarily, as far as I'm aware, what your guests say or do, so long as those are dealt with by the moderators or any other, then TikTok should not bring that back to you. Obviously, if a guest comes on and they continually do it over and over, then yes, that would get, but if they're dealt with, got rid of, whatever, it stopped, then I don't think TikTok brings that back to you, because there's very little you can do, when that sort of happens, other than get shot of them as quickly as you possibly can. You don't know, as I say, when you bring a guest on, you have no idea what they're going to say. You have no idea what they're going to do. But as I say, I think as long as you kick them quite quickly. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of them that do it, Lemonade. As I say, there's loads of them. It wasn't just here. There were millions of them that come up and do it, mainly the little children. But as I say, I think as long as you sort of deal with that situation as quickly as you possibly can, TikTok don't put that back onto you. So, yeah, as I say, I think it was the point where I sort of inadvertently used the word kill on the one occasion when I was talking about the many verses that say about killing non-Muslims. And I did notice it at the time, as I say, and that's why I quickly swapped the word for kill for to unalive. But unfortunately, I had said it, and I think that's what actually did it, because definitely kill is a banned word on TikTok that will get you an automatic ban. So, yeah, I think it was that one. Well, Linda Green, I mean, I miss coming onto TikTok as well. It's one of my favourite platforms, I must admit, just due to the people that are on there and the amount of traffic that you can get through on there. I would prefer to do this one as well alongside it, but unfortunately, this one, I don't know why, but you know, I think it's because I haven't got the subscribers to get monetized, and that's why YouTube aren't promoting it as much as they would other channels which have got the subscribers and get monetized. But even if I got the subscribers to get monetized, I wouldn't do the monetization anyway, because I'm not interested in the money. And so I think that would then still cause me many problems on YouTube, because I know many other people who have done YouTube and they haven't done the monetization, and they get constant bans and grief from YouTube because of that. So I don't think it would be a lot of difference even if I got the 1,000 subscribers, which you need in order to get monetized on YouTube, because, as I say, I wouldn't do it still anyway. So, and unfortunately, as I say, the only people who appear to do well on YouTube are the ones who get the monetization. They do the super chats, they do all the other bits and bobs which gets money for YouTube, at the same time as getting money for yourself. But that's why I wouldn't do it, because I don't agree with subsidizing social media platforms. I don't personally agree with them as such, because of all the disgusting things that are on there, and all the disgusting things that you can see. And I also totally disagree with the way that they certain people are a lot stricter with and get banned easy, and then a lot of other different people who are, in my eyes anyway, and in my beliefs, quite disgusting people, and believe in quite disgusting things, and they never seem to get any bans. Or so yeah, yeah. It's not something that I truly believe. But as I say, in order for spreading the word, it's a good way to spread the word, because you can reach quite a lot of people um, without having to do too much work, really. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah. Next week, TikToky back. The verse won the V Vault channel next Friday. And so I will be back on next Friday on the V Vault channel. I'm not sure what time that is. I can't remember what time they banned it. Um, I'm pretty certain it was quite late, but I'm not 100%. I think it's around 10, 11 o'clock Friday night. I'm not 100% certain. But then, of course, the second channel will come back Saturday afternoon. That was around 6, 7 o'clock. That will come back. Um, and so um, as long as they don't ban the first one, the V-Vault again, I will carry on using that one. If not, then I will switch back to the other one. Chances are they'll probably ban them both again. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. I have to be so very careful with what I say on TikTok, unfortunately. Well, yeah, I mean, so have I, Lemonade. Yes, I mean, so have I. I've been on other channels and heard much, much, much worse than what I say. And I even report those channels sometimes myself. And TikToky send me back confirmation of the reports. And then they send me back things saying, as far as we're concerned, we couldn't see anything wrong with what the person had done. He didn't break any of our community guidelines. And I'm like, okay, all right, sitting there and telling guests to f off and telling, swearing other swear things at guests and calling them all sorts of other rude names and disgusting things. That's not breaking your community guidelines on hate speech or hate behavior whatsoever. And yet somehow I continually do it by doing a lot less. So yeah. But as I say, I mean, I noticed that was an atheist who was attacking Christians. He was asking Christians to come up and explain to him about God and why there was a God and who God was. And every single guest who come up to talk to him, within seconds, he was screaming at them, and literally, as I say, really F off, you see, all sorts of disgusting things. And calling them stupid and silly, and imbeciles and even he admitted that he was getting to such a point, with his anger and getting himself such worked up that he would have to end the live. And that's what he did. He then ended the live. But I'd already reported it by then at least 4 or 5 times. Because as I say, there would have been 4 or 5 guests who would come on. And every single one of those 4 or 5 guests, he did the same thing to him. He literally swore at them, screamed at them, cussed them off, called them all disgusting things, and ejected each and every one of them. And each and every one of them, I reported him for it for hate speech and hate behaviour. And as I say, TikTok came back with the report saying, sorry, all 5 of them, we can't find anywhere where he's broken our community guidelines. And I was like, okay, fair enough. And I then had to actually go and look at the community guidelines because I was confused. Okay, is it allowed for one person to attack one person with hate speech, but not groups? I thought I'd read it wrong. I thought, okay, maybe it just says you're not allowed to attack a group like that. Yeah, and not actually specify one-on-one was all right. So I then had to go back and check it myself to see what it said on hate speech and hate behaviour. And it did say one-on-one. Attacking or bullying or harassing one or a group is hate speech and hate behaviour and won't be tolerated. And I was like, well, okay. How can TikTok come back and tell me that what that man was doing to those individuals was not breaking their hate speech and hate behavior guidelines, when clearly it was? uh, yeah, that's it, Lemonade. As I say, that's what they do. As I say, I think it's a very strict biasm towards, anyone who's not a Christian. And as I say, I've seen it lots of times as well. I've seen it lots and lots of times where even the children, they were set up alive, and clearly they're children, so they shouldn't even be on live anyway, because that is breaking the rules straight away. And they're cussing each other out on the live, thinking it's a good, joke to cuss one another out on the live. And yet they carry on, those lives continue and continue, and TikTok never seem to ban them. Then, as I say, there's lots of atheists who, again, do the same thing, and do things that are what I would consider very close to being banned, and yet never do. As I said, that particular one where he was sitting there cussing them, swearing at them, being totally disgusting to them, to be honest with you, again, not banned. And as I say, it just seems to be a certain biasm towards a particular group. And anyone else, they don't seem to have that same sort of biasm shown towards them. And again, it's, as I say, I'm not just basing it on my own personal things on TikTok. I also base it on other people, Christians as well. Rob Christian, God Logic, even God Logic has had bans on TikTok. I mean, how can anybody ban that man for hate speech and hate behavior? There is nothing, there is absolutely nothing about that gentleman that is hateful in any way, shape, or form, and certainly not the words that he uses. I've known him for 2-3 years now, and the last thing you could level against God Logic is hate speech or hate behavior, and yet he still had bans on TikTok for the same thing. So it's annoying. It really is annoying, because, as I say, it's so obvious. It really is. Rob Christian is another one. Rob Christian, he's had just like me, he's had countless accounts closed by TikTok from bans. And again, I've heard Rob Christian quite a lot of times. I wouldn't class him as hate speech or hate behaviour. But as I say, according to TikTok, we all are. we all come out with hate speech and hate behavior just because we are talking against the Quran and Islam. And this is unfortunately what Islam does. Islam does this itself. It uses every single tactic and single trick in the book to get people to stop talking about it, because it is weak, it is false, it is full of mistakes and errors, and they don't want people to know. They don't want people to know about what the book really says. They want to tell everyone their lies about it, and how beautiful it is and how wonderful it is, and and as I say, the last thing they can have is someone else coming along and saying, well, actually, you're lying. And proving that they're lying. And so they will, as I say, try to get every sort of bad comment or negative comment towards it shut down. And it doesn't matter, it really doesn't matter. They will achieve it. Like the film, The Lady of the Night, a film by Shia, and literally this wasn't even a bad film. It still had Muhammad in it, it still had Aisha in it, it had Fatima in it, it had Ali in it, but it was just promoting the Shia angle over and above the Sunni angle. And what did the Sunnis do? They went and got it shut down in every single cinema, and they got it banned from being shown. So, you know, it's this is the trouble, you see, is people who don't people who don't understand Islam and don't understand Muslims and are more concerned about their money, their wealth, and protecting their own interests, will basically bend over backwards to keep the Muslims happy. And this just plays into the Muslims' hands. This just helps the Muslims out no end, you know, and they don't understand that. They really don't understand it. So yeah. So I think that's about it, peoples. Yeah, I mean, again, lemonade, yes. Well, again, we don't really mind when they do that about Christianity because we have the truth. We don't have to fear when people make a film about Christianity or about Jesus and it's not so good because we have the truth anyway. I mean, the very last time that this happened was when Monty Python did The Life of Brian. You know, that was the sort of last big uproar by Christians in this country over that. And even that was nonsensical because it was just a comedy, you know. I mean, it's a funny film. I've seen it. It's funny. But it's not any relation or any, you know, on our Christianity or our Jesus in any way, shape or form. And this is the problem with the two religions. You know, in Christianity, we know there's the truth, we have the truth, and we're not afraid about talking about it. Whereas in Islam, they know they haven't got the truth. That's the point. They know their religion is false. You know, there's no way, you know, you can believe the stuff that's written about Islam and believe it because it just doesn't make any sense, any of it. You know, it's all garbage, the whole lot of it, from preservation to a book, you know. Yeah, I mean, it is. I agree, Lemonade. It was a brilliant film. And as I say, the uproar from the Christians at the time was so stupid because everyone could see that it was nothing to do with Jesus or the Bible in any way. You know, it was just a funny film based on that. So but that was the last sort of big uproar in this country about something like that. And as I say, there is a reason behind that. The reason is because we have the truth. We don't have to worry about people trying to, you know, make fun of our book or pick at it or question it in any way, shape or form. Whereas the Muslims, they have that problem. They do have that problem because it's so easy to pick things out of their book and question it. You know, babies being born, you know, without an egg, you know, and just a man's sperm that turns into a blood clot, dead blood. You know, how can you defend that? You can't. It's nonsensical rubbish. You know, the baby, once it's actually been born, first of all, it grows bones. It's a skeleton. Then the flesh grows round the bones. How can you defend that? You can't. The sun sets in a muddy, boiling spring. How can you defend that rubbish? You can't. You know, as I say, literally, there is nothing in that book that you can defend. And then when you had the hadiths to that, and the tafsirs and the sunnah, it gets even more worse. That's the problem with it. It gets worse. It doesn't get better. It's worse. So yeah, you know, they do have a huge problem, Muslims, with anybody discussing their book. They can't discuss it, and that's why within their book itself, it tells them, Surah 5, Ayah 101, do not question this book. You're not allowed to question this book. And that's the instruction to the Muslims themselves. How can you have a book from your God that came from your God and you're not allowed to question it? Straight away, you know, for people like me, that rings huge alarm bells. You wouldn't have a higher power, a higher being, all knowing, all knowledgeable, you know, telling his creation not to question him about anything he says. Straight away, you know, for people like me, and I know there's lots of me, I'm like asking that question straight away. Hold on a minute. Why don't you want me to question you, mush? If you're more intelligent than me, you're more powerful than me, you're all knowing more than me, why can't I question you? You should be able to answer any question I've got. The only reason you would possibly turn around and say, I can't question you, is because you know I've got questions you ain't going to be able to answer. That makes you not all knowing, doesn't it? So, yeah, I mean, you know, as I say, it's such a stupid book. And as I say, even when you come down to the topic I was discussing about love and peace, you know, even on that topic, the Quran falls apart, because the Quran says before the last day, they're going to fight all the Jews and annihilate all the Jews. They're going to fight all the Christians and annihilate all the Christians. And they're going to fight all the Turkish and annihilate all the Turkish. Now, of course, at Muhammad's time, that made perfect sense, because the Turkish was still Christian at that time. The whole of Turkey was still a Christian country, thanks to Paul. But today, that hadith, you know, where it says they're going to fight and annihilate all the Turkish, makes no sense whatsoever, because the whole of Turkey is Muslim. It's Islam. So, you know, according to their beliefs, they're going to fight all the Jews before the last day, they're going to fight all the Christians before the last day, and they're going to fight all the Muslims before the last day. Oh, Lord have mercy. You can't make this rubbish up, seriously. No one could actually make this rubbish up and believe it. I mean, how can they fight, you know, virtually 3/4 of the world, including themselves, before the final day? So totally nonsensical, really is. It really is complete garbo, the whole book. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Al-Tirmidhi, you know, 2837. Al-Tirmidhi 2837. Before the last hour, before the last day, Allah is going to despise the man who calls himself the King of Kings. Revelation chapter 19 from verse 15 down to about 2021. Go and read it. It clearly tells you who the King of Kings is going to be, none other than Jesus. So according to the Quran, before the last day, Allah is also going to despise Jesus. Pretty strange, really, seeing as he's going to use Jesus to get rid of the Dajjal for him, Satan, and also kill all the pigs and break all the crosses. I wonder if he's going to despise Jesus before he does that or after he does that. I mean, according to the narrative, Al-Tirmidhi 2837, he's going to despise him before he does all that. So Allah's going to despise the man who's going to kill Satan. Okay, fair enough. Oh, seriously. I mean, I really just do not understand how people have allowed this cult and this book to spread. You know, I can understand how men, you know, want this book and how men would want this religion because it's so man-based. You know, if you're a man who's got his brain and everything else between his legs, you know, Islam is ideal for you, because it literally allows you to sex with anything that moves. Literally. If it moves, sex it. And even the things that don't move, you can sex. So, you know, Muhammad had sex with his dead aunts. So you can even sex a corpse, you know. So it doesn't just have to move. It can be something that used to move and is no longer moving, and you can still sex it. So, you know, from a men point of view, I can understand. From a woman point of view, I really just do not understand how women get caught up in this. Really, I don't. I, I really didn't think there was that many, you know, stupid women, to be honest with you, in the world, to actually get caught up with this cult, and to actually promote this cult and go along with this cult. Because, of course, a cult like Islam, which has basically survived by use of the sword and also by pro-recreation, basically having so many babies more than anyone else, you know, so that outnumbers all the other population and all the other religions. For that to happen, you don't only need men to wave the sword, you also need the women to sit there popping out baby after baby after baby after baby for the rest of their lives. And as I say, I don't understand why the women have been there, and allowed that to happen and allowed them to be treated that way, and allowed this to flourish so much. Really, I don't. I mean, there are a lot of women who have seen it for what it is, you know, and now lead and spoke out about it, and all power to those women, I say. But it's such a shame that those are so few compared to the ones who sit there with their legs open constantly. And that is where Islam would die. That is where Islam would die. Women of the world, you are the ones who have the power to either stop this cult or help it and continue it to grow. Believe it or not, because it's through you that this does continue to grow, not through the men, through the women. And if enough of you women finally woke up, saw it for what it was, and said, sod off, we don't want this crap no more, there would be no more Islam. There would be no more Islam, because the only reason the men carry on waving the swords around and using the backpacks everywhere and using Mini Coopers everywhere is because there's plenty of women sitting down with their legs open that they can go and jiggy. And if there wasn't those women there wouldn't be the men there. Oh, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. Okay, so I think this is time to end this stream. It's been quite a while, and I did want to keep it short, so that it downloads quicker. So anyway, God bless you all. Peace of Christ to you all. Thank you for coming. I had at least 6 at one point.